President of the Copperfield Resident Association, Steve Williams, says the city started providing dumpsters starting Wednesday and has been running trucks to clear the dumpsters out every day starting Thursday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. He says it's been a huge help, but they're not even close to being done with getting the trash out. Items they need the most right now are cleaning and disinfecting supplies. They're also working on setting up a GoFundMe page for the neighborhood. If you have any items you would like to donate, the Homeowners Association is asking that you drop them off at 228 Barrington Drive. In O'Fallon, I'm Alla Arabi.
All right, so ahead on Fox News at 10, the Fox Files on the floodline.
Coming up, hear how a year ago the EPA warned the East St. Louis city leaders about failures that could lead to flooding troubles. The Fox Files looks at what could have been done differently.
Push of rain has moved away, so that made for a great weekend, but it opens the door for a new pattern. Are you ready for the heat? Forecast is coming up.
In times like these, we need a senator who's for us. Trudy Bush Valentine, a nurse who will take on insurance companies to protect people with pre-existing conditions, invest in mental health care, help older Missourians age at home, and protect Social Security and Medicare from Republican attempts to privatize it. Endorsed by firefighters, nurses, and civil rights leaders, Democrat Trudy Bush Valentine.
I'm Trudy Bush Valentine, and I approve this message. By switching over to AAA insurance, we saved over $450.
Switch to AAA insurance today, and you could save an average of $483 on auto insurance. Compare that to State Farm, Geico, even Allstate. Call now for your free AAA full picture quote to find out how much you could save.
So with our savings, he bought more equipment.
More money means more practice equipment.
In his world.
Call 866-479-1176 for your free AAA full picture quote today. You'll be glad you did.
Chris Cuomo, welcome to the show.
Let's get after it,
Let's
Danny.
do it.
You ask what you want.
How is it different being Chris Cuomo the last 8 months than it was in 2020?
I respect that you ask the questions. I want to find a way to help people. I'm going to become News Nation, and I want to build something special here. I think we need insurgent media. I think we need outlets that aren't fringe and just trying to fill their pockets. I'm going to go where the news is, and I'm going to try very hard to be fair.
County Executive Sam Page has lost all credibility by putting his own interests ahead of the interests of St. Louis County residents. But now we can turn the page on this administration. Jane Zucker will put St. Louis County residents first through crime prevention and protecting communities, an honest and fair government, and a commitment to economic development. St. Louis County needs a true leader who focuses on what matters most. And with Jane, St. Louis County always comes first.
This past week, some of the worst flooding in the St. Louis area may be in a spot where officials have been repeatedly warned.
Fox Files investigator Chris Hayes went to East St. Louis, where he found evidence city leaders apparently had an opportunity to act before the historic flooding.
How long have you been in here?
This is exclusive video from a boat on Terrace Drive in East St. Louis Thursday.
Push it open.
It was the only way Sharon Franklin could recover crucial medications for her family and save her 3 pets.
Get in the cave.
They were like my sport for my sons and me.
Friday, she still cannot reach her home. She cannot find any leader from East St. Louis. Juanita Sanders said she reached the mayor.
I don't know where to start. He told us that he wasn't aware of the problem.
Wasn't aware of the problem. Fox 2 found evidence. City leaders were even told they needed to act long ago. EPA investigators warned East St. Louis in this report last year. Fix this broken down pump station. Let's go take a look. It appears today in the same bad shape investigators cited in 2021. A pump station still bypassed by smaller portable pumps. The station door open and a damaged roof inside, open to the elements.
And I talked to a gentleman this morning from the Corps of Engineers. He distinctly said that if the pumps were working right, it would take the water out of the neighborhood. That's exactly what he said. Makes you feel like it's their fault.
After Mayor Robert Easton repeatedly ignored our calls, we walked into City Hall to talk to him. We were told he just left, and his cell phone rang straight to voicemail. The EPA's report in East St. Louis also points out citizen complaints are logged on paper. The city secretary files the paper complaints in a box, and they were, quote, not logged into a system to help the city identify and manage problem areas. Meanwhile, dozens of residents may never be able to return safely to their homes. So happy to find her animals alive, Franklin saw her home partially collapsed from flood damage. A home not eligible for flood insurance, she says, because of so many problems here. For the Fox Files, I'm Chris Hayes.
Generally, if we can say that the weather made history in a certain period of time, it probably wasn't easy to deal with. Nobody talked about historic calm weather for sure as last week. Historic rainfall in St. Louis, 10 to 14 inches of rain across the bi-state area. So nice to have the calm this weekend, nice to have the dry time, comfortable temperatures, low humidity, easy to deal with weather. Highs today, low in mid-80s. Now, there are 90s to our west, and generally that heat is going to start to expand from west to east. I think those warm temperatures are going to be here tomorrow, especially now that a warm front has moved through metro St. Louis. That front did spark a few isolated sprinkles earlier today, but most of the active weather is from the mid-south all the way into the mid-Atlantic, well south of metro St. Louis. Watch Futurecast. There's a weak front trying to get into the bi-state. It kind of scrapes the northern part of Missouri and Illinois right in through here by early tomorrow morning. It could be a focus line for a few clouds trying to build up in this zone and give us a downpour or two. The chance is pretty slim, so I think with confidence we can say that tomorrow is pretty dry. We'll just watch a partly cloudy sky and watch for a couple of isolated downpours. Same deal for Tuesday, but most of that storm track will scoot past metro St. Louis. So some dry time on the way, and the way the pattern is set up with southerly winds into Tuesday and Wednesday, temperatures start to increase pretty quickly. Return of the big heat. Now the big humidity is already here. The warm front pushing through did bring a few clouds through the area, spots of rain, and then things cleared out right at sunset, and then moonset there too, off to the west. View in the High Point neighborhood looking okay. Dry and quiet, but it is warm and humid. 81 degrees right now. Dew point at 71. That's up from earlier today. South breeze at 9. Pressure holding steady. High today 87. The low of 71. The 71 normal. The 87 just a touch below normal. So pretty close to where the normal range is. A dry day with that mix of sun and clouds. Current temperatures away from downtown. Generally 70s. Most spots are mid to upper 70s, although Litchfield is at 72 degrees. We are clear right now across the bi-state again. Had a couple of spot showers trying to build up south of St. Louis, but for the most part, those died out pretty quickly. Warm front lifting across the area, and that warm front has increased the southerly wind. So storm track is south, and yes, more rain for eastern Kentucky and eastern Tennessee. And there are a couple of showers to our north. That's the front that tries to roll in. Most of the energy will stay to our north. Most of the front will stay to our north. So we're on the warm side of it. Southerly winds, warmer air building, a low 90s, and probably mid to upper 90s tomorrow afternoon. So an increase of heat, an increase of humidity, an increase of big summertime weather. Partly cloudy tonight, 75 for the overnight low. A few clouds around by early in the morning. I think generally tomorrow there's lots of sunshine, some fair weather clouds here or there. We'll watch a couple of those clouds because there is a small chance of an isolated downpour. 98% of the area should stay dry and quiet. It's a hot one, so back into the 90s tomorrow, upper 90s on Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday, the warmest day. A cold front Thursday does bring us the chance of scattered showers and storms. We'll watch how that sets up, and then beyond that, more dry time coming for next weekend.
All right, Glenn, thank you. Well, in less than 2 weeks, the 120th Missouri State Fair will kick off in Sedalia.
Now, supply chain issues as well as a drought are expected to take a toll on the 11-day event. Our Missouri Chief Capitol Bureau reporter Emily Mail explains.
You might not be able to tell now because I'm standing in an empty swine barn. But next month, more than 300,000 people are expected to attend the Missouri State Fair. But fairgoers can expect to pay more for a corn dog, a sandwich, and the gas to get here.
We've had some conversation with some of our food vendors, They're struggling a little bit. I think, folks are probably going to see some increase in cost to do that, when they come to the fair.
The price of admission at the Missouri State Fair isn't changing.
Our entry numbers are really good at this point in time, but obviously that's people are planning that. That's been going on for a while, so I would expect we're going to see some people pull back.
75% of the state is in a drought, and more than 20 counties in an extreme drought, according to the U.S. Drought Monitor. Plus, the cost of fuel and supply chain shortages. There could be challenges with the annual 11-day fair.
Right off the bat, we couldn't buy filters, oil filters for mowers. Couldn't find them. Just simple things you never thought about not being available. Suddenly, there was a shortage, or you couldn't get them, or it was a delayed timeline to get it.
Mark Wolf is the fair's director. Last year, he says the fair was short 500 employees.
We hadn't had any funding to help for the operation of the fair really since 2009, and we're kind of doing it on our own dime.
This year, lawmakers allocated $500,000 to increase the wage to $15 an hour.
We had folks that were, putting in 300 or 400 hours for the fair, and if you took what they were getting paid and divided that out, some of them were making $5 and $6 an hour.
The fair brings in roughly $5 million, filling up all 1,800 campsites, offering many shows, events, and of course, your favorite fair food.
I don't eat a corn dog all year long, but when the state fair starts, that first foot-long corn dog slathered in mustard is pretty hard to beat.
The General Assembly also allocated $29 million in COVID relief money for a new arena, which will be built in the coming years. With COVID cases on the rise, there will be hand sanitizing stations throughout the fairgrounds. The fair runs from August 11th through the 21st. Reporting for our Missouri Capitol Bureau in Sedalia, I'm Emily Manley.
And in sports, the Kilcoyne opinion on the passing of NBA legend Bill Russell.
Plus, the Cardinals rookie who shut down the Nationals and helped salvage a road trip.
Now at Window Nation, get $200 off every window, plus pay nothing until 2024.
There's a reckoning happening in America, and in Missouri, too. The Veiled Prophet Ball, founded by Confederate soldiers in St. Louis, whites only. And who had found their queen? Trudy Bush Valentine. Old people knew the prophet's close connection to the KKK as an armed Klan member. But Trudy Bush Valentine proudly accepted her role. If we send her to the Senate,